What's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and today we are taking a look at the Montreal Canadiens. So the Montreal Canadiens, despite being dead last in the National Hockey League standings last year, there's only two teams in the NHL that have spent over the salary cap at this point. One of them is the Tampa Bay Lightning, who's in the Stanley Cup final. The other, that's right, it's not the Avalanche, it's not the Rangers, it's not the Oilers, it's not the Leafs, it's the Montreal Canadiens. Of course it is. Of course it's the Montreal Canadiens. So a lot of moves are expected because they want to not only get as close to the salary cap floor as they can, not only get back below the salary cap ceiling, but get close to the salary cap floor and make some big moves in the offseason. Potentially in free agency. There's a couple of French-Canadian guys out there. I know some of you are a little bit against that, right? Just because they're French-Canadian, they should come back to Montreal. But there's reason to believe that they will want to play there and play their best because they're in their home city, right? I'll rattle off the names again. Claude Giroux, Marc-Andre Fleury, Chris Letang. Who am I missing? I'm definitely forgetting somebody. I mean, RFA-wise, Pierre-Luc Dubois is an RFA. I think that's a long shot, but his name could be out there. So those are the guys you're kind of looking at. Of course, Patrice Bergeron, that would be insane. But again, we're playing devil's advocate. Let's see what happens, right? So they're looking to free up cap space in any way possible. We've heard the big names, Jeff Petrie, maybe on his way back to Edmonton. Maybe even Josh Anderson. And that's where we're going to start off today's video. And this is from Frank Saravelli. I think Josh Anderson is a real long shot to get moved out of Montreal. But Montreal have gotten some very interesting offers. Teams have been aggressive trying to get him. So far, the Habs have resisted. But you have to wonder, how much more can they resist? Depends on what that offer comes to, right? Because if it's an offer they can't resist, what do you do then, right? And Montreal is not a playoff team right now, right? I mean, let's be honest. That's their scenario. And you look at Josh Anderson's contract. He's getting paid $5.5 million. He's 28 years old. $5.5 million per season for the next 5 seasons. This will take him, till the summer of 2027. So a pretty long-term contract, takes him till he's 33 years old, which is perfect at $5.5 million per year. At the time, Marc Bergevin with that swap for Domi, that looked like a bad trade. Not the case at all anymore. I mean, Josh Anderson has been good in Montreal, and Domi is no longer in Columbus. So shout out there to that trade by Bergevin. He's no longer there, but you have to give the guy some credit. He did make some good trades. Maybe not the Drouin Sergachev trade, but trades like this, he did do a nice job with. So Josh Anderson's name has been thrown out there. Like I said, I think it's a stretch. But if the offer's out there, kind of like Brandon Hagel in Chicago, maybe they do end up, it's just enough where they end up making that trade. So we'll keep an eye on that for you as well. Like I said, make sure you're subscribed so you're up to date with the trades, trade rumors, all of that stuff. So let's continue. So this is from Eric Engels, who is obviously a big Habs guy. The Canadiens goaltender Carey Price recently had a platelet-rich plasma injection in his injured knee, though it's not clear yet how his body will respond when training camp, when he starts training a little bit more and he's back in the gym. As of right now, he is preparing as if he is going to play for the 22-23 NHL season. We haven't really heard much about Carey Price and Shea Weber for that matter, but this is the first kind of big news for Carey Price. It's not really the best news. They're really looking at different ways to try and get him back healthy, and this whole thing is really, it sucks with Carey Price. He is their, really they're two leaders. They're alpha dog players. Carey Price and Shea Weber both have been out on LTIR for so long. It just really sucks seeing these guys not playing in Montreal, and you can only hope for the best. He's dealt with a lot, especially last year. He might end up winning the Masterton. I think he did win the Masterton trophy, right? So congratulations to him there, but you'd rather see him winning Hart trophies and Vezina trophies again, right? Like he did back in 2012 and 2015 and that time frame. Because Carey Price, when he is unbeatable, unstoppable, and so we'll see what happens there. Obviously, best wishes to both Weber and Carey Price. More of Carey Price as we're talking about him today. So this is from Pierre LeBrun. Some updates on Jeff Petrie. Jeff Petrie could be a fallback option for the Dallas Stars if John Klingberg leaves. We've talked about that at the trade deadline. That could potentially be in the works. I made a video talking about maybe Jeff Petrie going to Montreal. Yeah, of course. Maybe going back to Edmonton. That would be kind of interesting. I talked about him maybe going to the Flyers. A JVR for Jeff Petrie deal. It's kind of, with JVR having 1 year left on his deal, it's more of a cap dump for the Canadiens more so. That obviously fell through. Maybe the Flyers show some interest in him again. The Canadiens have also been connected, according to Jimmy Murphy. The Montreal Canadiens have been connected to goaltender Ville Husso. He had a really good season with the St. Louis Blues last year. I would stay away from that. Reminds me a lot of Carter Hutton a couple seasons ago when he had a good season as the backup for the Blues behind Jake Allen, who is a Blues goaltender now. And he ended up going to Buffalo, signed a big ticket, and he sucked. So if I'm the Habs, definitely, especially in Montreal, that is probably the hardest job in Canada, is being the starting goaltender of the Montreal Canadiens. I don't think Ville Husso's the guy. I'm just being honest. Again, from Marco D'Amico, the Montreal Hockey Now, he suggests that Montreal and Edmonton could make a trade, sending Jeff Petrie back to Edmonton. The Oilers had drafted. Oh no, did they sign Jeff Petrie? I think they signed him out of NCAA. He ended up getting traded to Montreal, and I think it was for a second-round pick or third-round pick. It was something stupid. And we know how good Jeff Petrie has become now at a top 4 defenseman level. Jimmy Murphy, again, going in here with an interesting splash of a rumor, suggesting that Jesse Puljujarvi could be a good fit with the Montreal Canadiens. So the Canadiens going after Jesse Puljujarvi. I think that would definitely be interesting. He's also been tied to teams like the Washington Capitals of Sammy Silber, but Jesse Puljujarvi maybe going to Montreal. I do see that as a fit. They're going to need scoring wingers on this team next year to play with Suzuki and Caulfield. Jesse Puljujarvi could be some really good scoring depth for the Montreal Canadiens. And if they were to decide to trade Josh Anderson, not saying he's a complete fit there in terms of 1-for-1, but Jesse Puljujarvi could potentially become a guy like Josh Anderson. So we'll keep an eye on that one. I think that's definitely something to watch for. That is it for today's video, guys. Make sure, if you are not subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It would really help us out. I think only 7 or 9% of you guys that watch these videos are subscribed. That's a crime, guys. Make sure you're subscribed. As always, thank you so much for watching, and let's go Habs.